Hi, everyone. We're about to get started. We're just pulling up the slides, so give us 1 minute.
Can you see the slides?
No, we cannot. There we go. Okay, great. So, welcome everybody. On behalf of the entire Google for Education team, we would like to say congratulations and welcome to the Google for Education Certified Trainer Program. We are so happy that you guys are here. Thank you for all of the hard work that you have put into being a part of this growing program. We're very excited to have you here, and we truly believe that trainers are the catalyst for getting more educators inspired and empowered to use technology in the classroom. So we very much look forward to all the stories to come of all the trainings that you're about to do. So throughout the next hour, we'll be using the chat feature on the Hangout on Air to collect all of the questions that you may have. So feel free to throw any of your questions in the chat box throughout the event on the right-hand side of your screen. We'll be monitoring the questions, and we'll try to answer some of them throughout the time. But then at the very end of the presentation, we'll gather all of the most popular questions and make sure to have those answered then. Now, next slide, please, Justin. I know that many of you have actually already been trainers for a month or two or three, but we still wanted to make sure that you got your proper welcoming if you haven't had the time yet to go through the full site. So we had 265 new trainers onboarded in the last 3 months, and a big chunk of them were from the United States, but I also wanted to call out that we have a big chunk from a number of countries. I usually like to read out the countries just to show how diverse we are and how much we can learn from each other. So I'm going to do that now. We're here from Australia, Bolivia, Brazil, Bulgaria, Canada, Colombia, Costa Rica, Egypt, Hong Kong, Italy, Japan, Jordan, Korea, Kuwait, Lebanon, Mexico, New Zealand, Peru, Russia, Saudi Arabia, Scotland, Spain, Sweden, Taiwan, Thailand, the United Kingdom, and the United States. Today in particular, we, continuing with this theme of our wonderful trainers all around the globe, we have 3 amazing current certified trainers here from Spain who I will introduce in a little bit. Or actually, they're not all from Spain, but they're all currently located in Spain. So I'll introduce them in a minute. Next slide, please, Justin. Thank you. So to ground us all in what we're going to be covering in today's session, this Hangout is specifically meant for certified trainers who were onboarded within the last few months, and the goal is to help you get familiar with the community and meet a few familiar faces, as well as cover some topics that you'll need to know throughout your time as a trainer. We'll start off by introducing you to the Google team in Mountain View, and then we'll introduce the other certified trainers on the call. Justin will then give you a glimpse into the background and history of the program, as well as dig deeper into the meat and potatoes and the benefits that you'll be receiving. And then our wonderful featured certified trainers will talk about their experiences in the program and give you some words of wisdom that they have for each of you. And then lastly, we will highlight some of the popular topics and hope to answer some frequently answered questions. And yeah, and then we'll turn it over to you for any additional questions that you might have. So today, you have 2 primary contacts here at Google for all of your trainer needs. We are both based here out of California and in the Pacific time zone. So it's good for you to understand in terms of when you're contacting us at all hours. I'm Alina Politzer. I'm the Certified Trainer Program Manager, and Justin Lakehap, who you will meet in a minute, is the Education Community Manager. We will be your go-to Googler contacts if you need any help, and if you can't find any of the answers that you're looking for on the private trainer site or the private trainer group, which hopefully you all have access to by now, please do contact us. Try to always contact us at this alias because Justin and I are both in and out a ton, traveling and not necessarily always in the office or in meetings, and so it's good for us both to have each other's back as well as other team members across the Google for Education team to help out. Also joining us today are 3 wonderful certified trainers. They will each go through in a minute and tell you about each of their experiences and how long they've been in the program and what they've gained out of the program that they hope that you'll gain out of the program as well. And all three, Elena, Miguel, and Sabrina, are all in Spain right now. I'll do some translating when needed for those of you that don't speak Spanish. So to really ground us before we get into the benefits and the things that you're going to have to be doing to be required as part of the Certified Trainer Program, I did want us all to start off by centering around the shared mission that we have for Google for Education Certified Trainers to train, develop, and support educators to reach their full potential by redefining teaching and learning through the use of technology. So trainers really are passionate and creative individuals who provide professional development and other support services to educators and schools. So it's good to know that that's the centered mission that we're all of the program that you're joining. I will hand it over to Justin now to help you with a few steps on how to get started.
Thank you, Alina. There are 6 steps to help you get started in this program. You can find everything you need to know about the Certified Trainer Program on the private trainer site. This URL was given to you in your acceptance email. On this trainer resource site, you can view the Getting Started guide under the Home tab. The Getting Started guide consists of 6 steps that will help you become an outstanding trainer. In case you haven't completed these 6 steps yet, we'll go ahead and dig in to explain each step. Step 1, review the program guidelines. This 5-page document gives you the whole scoop of the program. It lists the program overview and expectations, which is what we expect out of you as a trainer. This includes submitting training sessions, staying up to date with the latest features, and participating in the community. We'll talk more about your expectations as a certified trainer later on during this Hangout. It also lists the program policies that outline some standards you will need to upkeep as a representative of Google. And lastly, we mentioned what happens to you if you fail to abide to the program guidelines. Step 2, read badge and logo guidelines and download them. This document on the private trainer resource site will show you what you can do, what you must do, and what you agree you will not do with the trainer badge. This document is extremely important as you'll want to be very careful with how you use this badge. Step 3, read branding guidelines. These guidelines directly point out what to do with the Google for Education Certified Trainer brand, the Google brand, and Google trademarks. Google is very serious about our brand. All of our brand features are protected by applicable trademark, copyright, and other intellectual property laws. Please ensure that you're using the correct brand in your work. Step 4, get listed in the trainer directory. Google for Education has launched, we do have a new process for the EDU directory, and this information is updated on the private trainer site. Basically, the new education directory will be updated through the EDU activity app, which we'll be talking about later on in this Hangout. So please disregard this slide. Step 5, post an intro on the forum. Introduce yourself on the Google for Education Trainer Google group. This is a step I've seen many of you already done. This is a great way to get yourself out to the group and tell all about short of 4,000 trainers about yourself. This is the same group where you can communicate easily with other trainers and share resources with each other. Step 6, steps to a G Suite training domain. We can upgrade your training domain to G Suite for Education. This will allow you to have a separate domain for demos and training purposes. The page on the trainer site has very specific and detailed steps you'll need to take to successfully have your domain updated online. The step that many people stumble on is the verification phase. All domains must be verified from Google before our team upgrades your training domain to G Suite. If you're having trouble with this process, please visit the private trainer site to watch a video series by your fellow certified trainer, Louis Schanefelt, where he takes you through the step-by-step process. Note that this is not a requirement for trainers, but this is one of the many perks this program has. Now we're going to hear from some of our esteemed certified trainers as they talk about their own experiences and offer their advice as you begin to take your expertise to the field. Before we start, let's have our certified trainers introduce themselves and let you guys know what part of the program you enjoy the most. So first we have Elena.
Hello, I'm Elena. I'm from Valencia, although I'm speaking from Tarragona. And the part that I love the most from the program are the training sessions. Some of them are done by Get Spain with Miguel, who will talk afterwards. It's the owner. He's one of the founders or the founder, I don't know, but they do many events in many cities, and they are fantastic for collaborating, for getting to know each other, and well, that's fantastic. I think that's the best part of being a trainer, collaborating and get in touch with everyone that is in this education world. Thank you.
Thank you, Elena. Now we have Miguel.
Hola, soy Miguel, encantado de saludaros a todos. Es un placer, me disculpáis que me exprese en español, no manejo bien inglés y Alina traducirá algo por mí. Para mí lo más importante del programa es que te mete en una dinámica de desarrollo profesional continuo, ayudando a otros profesores a crecer y a mejorar. Alina, si quieres ir traduciendo mientras.
Dale, perfecto. Miguel was saying that he apologizes that he's going to speak in Spanish, even though there's no reason for him to apologize, but that he's more comfortable in that. He was saying that the thing that's most important to him is that you get into a flow of professional development with your teachers, and that it really helps build upon each other.
Lo más interesante de poder ayudar a otros es poder conectarte con más gente. Lo decía antes Elena, y lo más importante es conectarte con una red muy extensa de gente que ya vamos siendo entrenadores, que nos juntamos en encuentros. Aquí tengo el logotipo de Get Spain. En encuentros donde compartimos, ¿no? Y también te vincula con una red de partners que necesitan de nosotros para formar a la gente en los colegios. Esto es lo que para mí es más importante.
Thank you, Miguel. Miguel's saying that for him, the most important part is really the network, and not only the network of trainers where all the local trainers around him get together to really do some knowledge sharing, but they also get together across the GEG, which is the Google Educator Groups. If you're not familiar with those, you can email Justin and I, and we'll tell you more about how to get involved in those, as well as the partner community. So Google for Education also has certified partners, and he says that these partners also rely heavily off of the trainer community. So Miguel talks about the ways in which all of these communities really help build each other up and strengthen each other throughout. So, and he said that he was echoing Elena in saying that the community and the network is the primary thing that he loves the most about the trainer program.
Awesome. Thank you, Miguel and Elena. Now we have Sabrina.
Hi, everyone. It's funny because we actually didn't discuss this before, but we're all pretty much in sync. I have to say that when Justin asked me to choose one aspect of being part of the program, it was really hard for me to choose only one. But the thing that really stuck out was that sense of community, of belonging to something bigger than yourself. So when you're doing training, I'm guessing most of you have been doing some training either informally or more formally. You've been helping your colleagues at other schools, or you've been doing this as a sort of second job you might be having, or as your primary source of income. But the thing is that you tend to do this sort of alone at first, no? Right? So you go to different schools, you meet a lot of people, you share everything you know about Google or about how to enhance teaching using different technologies that GC for Education offers. But the thing, at the end of the day, you're kind of alone. So I like the idea of being part of something larger, of this huge global. I think at the beginning, Justin, we were talking before, you mentioned around something around 3,000 or so. You might tell me later.
Yeah.
Globally, right? So that's a huge community. And what I like about it is that they all share something. So whether it is, I don't know, a problem you might have, or a question you might need to be solved, or the famous trainer demo that everyone struggles with, you can send out this query, you can send out this problem, this question that you may have, and there's this bunch of people who out of free will, just because they're super good-natured, they just want to share that with you. So I think that being part of this community is incredibly inspiring, and at least it's made me grow incredibly professionally. So that's one of the things I like best.
Thank you, Sabrina.
You're welcome.
So what she also mentioned, like we're almost at 4,000 trainers across the globe. So if you could imagine, the Google group is filled with lots of resources, and a lot of questions that you might have about the program likely have already been answered. But it's really nice to learn from all these thousands of trainers. And this is my favorite part of this event, because a lot of trainers have a lot of experience, whether it be in schools or districts. So a part of being in the program, there's a lot of information that you will learn from Google, and also ways that you can share it. So what piece of advice would you like to give to the new certified trainers? So first we'll go back to Elena.
Hi again. So what I wrote is that the best advice, I think that the best thing that would work, it's explore. Now you have just come into this training world of Google, but then you can, I don't know if you have been in the Innovators Academy, but that's one of the most exciting educational things that I've ever done in my life. And that's it. Explore, try, and make when you give training sessions, or when you're collaborating with your colleagues, explaining Google Drive, explaining something, make it enjoyable, make it something that they won't forget, and give them something that they will remember. I don't know, but don't be afraid to explore, because everything can be undone. And well, I think that's the best advice, I think.
Yeah, thank you. Back to Miguel.
Pues si yo tengo que dar un consejo, es colabora. Colabora, comparte todo lo que hagas. Si puede ser en abierto, mejor. Elige tu licencia Creative Commons, elige el modo que quieras, pero comparte y colabora. Y cuando tengas dudas de si has compartido lo suficiente o si estás siendo demasiado generoso, vuelve a colaborar para que se te pasen. Porque la forma de construir educación es colaborando juntos.
I love it, Miguel. So he says that first and foremost, he recommends that you collaborate, and then you collaborate and you share, and you really work with the community anytime that you have any doubts and you start worrying that you're collaborating or sharing too much. Keep going, because he talks about how being a trainer and understanding education is really everyone's job, and how we're all stronger together. So just to continue to collaborate and share with the community.
Ser proactivos, buscar a partners que estén haciendo cosas en vuestro país, en vuestra zona, buscar escuelas que quieran crear encuentros, formar talleres, ser proactivos en proponer, juntarnos con otra gente y compartir lo que hagáis. Solo si compartimos lo que hacemos podremos elevar el nivel de todos, subir al siguiente nivel.
Through sharing, through being very proactive and reaching out to other schools or other associations, organizations that are doing things that are aligned with your vision is how we're all going to be able to help boost up the state of education technology. And so just to continue to be very proactive, and Miguel will tell you all sorts of stories about how that has paid off for him, reaching out to fellow people either near him or not near him, and just collaborating on similar trainings and on initiatives and on ways to help different schools.
Awesome. And now to Sabrina.
Hey, everyone, back again. Miguel, high five, because mine is pretty much the same. So in keeping with what I was saying before, being part of this global community that is sharing lots of things, that is adding, their tips and their best practices, etc., I would say connect, most definitely. Social media for me was the best part. When I first started with the program, I was back in Buenos Aires, where I'm from. And it felt a bit lonely because there were no trainers in Argentina at that time. I think there was only one, and then me. And so through social media, I had this possibility of connecting to people from all over the world, in countries that I had difficulty locating sometimes. But they share the best practices. They share lots of tips and tutorials. And honestly, the generosity that the Google for Education community, the Google, the trainers and the innovators have is just outstanding. So it would be a pity not to make use of that, but also to share what you have, because at the beginning sometimes you feel a little bit tiny in comparison to these trainers who have been doing this for quite a while, quite a number of years. So at first, I had this feeling, of not sharing, or maybe the things that I had to say were not, very special. But then I realized that everyone has something to offer. So I think it's super important. There's a hashtag, which is Google ET or Google EI also, that you can follow. In case you want to get connected to other educators, you can create your own lists. There's amazing people out there. Find your GEG groups, like Miguel said before. Connect with people in real life, and if it's hard for you because you're in the middle of nowhere, or there's very few trainers in your area, then you can also connect through social media. So really take advantage of that, because you are sharing lots of things, and again, you're not going to feel lonely in any way.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, I do agree with Sabrina. Between the Certified Trainer Program, the Certified Innovator Program, and the GEGs, there's about over 8,000 leaders worldwide. So I'm sure wherever you are in the world, you'll find someone nearby or can connect virtually. And again, I just want to emphasize how great this Google group is. There's so many resources and so many announcements that come from Google, asking for participation in events and participation in feedback for our new products and our programs. So through time, you'll see emails from our team asking for volunteers. So this is a great way to get involved, and also work with Googlers at your local Google offices as well. And now let's go back to Alina, where she'll talk about more of the benefits of the programs and some of the expectations that we have for our certified trainers.
Thanks, Justin, and thank you to Sabrina, Miguel, and Elena for all of those words of wisdom. We love having you as members of this community. So the slide that Justin has up right now says these are some of the benefits that you get into the program. These are all the benefits that you should, hopefully you're already taking advantage of, and they're all already listed on our public certified trainer page at g.co/ EDU certified trainer, which I'm sure is how you all got here in the first place. So each one of these is also detailed out in terms of how you can tap into that benefit in the private trainer site. So please look there for more information. Next slide, please, Justin. Thank you. This is, these are two specific parts of the benefits that I do want to reiterate, because there are tons of trainers that come in and sometimes they're feeling overwhelmed or feeling like they need to create things from scratch themselves. And we do want to tell you that we very much appreciate that. And we know that everyone is super innovative and super creative. And at the same time, we don't need you to reinvent the wheel all the time. So I wanted to make you aware of two resources. The first one is called the Shared Resource Database, which one of the requirements each calendar year is that you add in a fresh new resource to that shared resource database that you have created. And the benefit of that is that everybody always gets to use each other's freshly created resources if they're trying to come up with a training last minute or want to learn about a new product or a new way of delivering trainings. And a fun fact about that actually is that that database is so saturated with tens of thousands of resources that now I'm trying to figure out another way to host these resources. So hopefully I'll have that update for you guys this quarter. But I think it's a wonderful problem to have that all of our amazing trainers have uploaded so many resources. And the vast majority do way more than one a year. And then the other resource, of course, that is available to you is the Teacher Center, which many of you have already used in terms of the lessons that you prepared in order to become a certified trainer yourselves. But for those of you that maybe took your L1 or L2 certifications a long time ago, remember that those are still resources that are there. You can definitely, a lot of trainers have used those as a starting point to create their own targeted, personalized approaches with their own students, even though the students are adults. And then next slide, please, Justin. The EDU activity app is the main way that really you can connect back to us. So the EDU activity app is where you'll be recording all of your training sessions in order to get credit for recertification, but it's also a lot more than that. So our other Google for Education community leaders also use this app to report their activity. So that's, for example, we have Miguel, Elena, and Sabrina here, who are all also part of other programs, such as the Certified Innovator Program, the GG Leader Program, or even being part of a PD partner. You all should have already gotten an invite and hopefully are able to access the app, hopefully have already updated your EDU directory public profiles. And if you have any issues, please do contact us. But in addition to just telling Google what the trainings are that you've been doing, it really helps us understand where the bulk of trainings are happening currently and where our lacks are in terms of helping boost you up as a community. So I've been working really hard in the last 2 quarters to develop learning and development sessions for those who have identified that they want to learn more about. Let's say the majority of people are already very strong in G Suite and Chrome and Classroom. And then a lot of people really are interested in learning more about our AR and VR products, or Google Earth and how to use Google Earth in a math classroom, or our Jamboard. I don't know if everyone has heard of Jamboard, but we have a bunch of other tools that could really help benefit teachers in the classroom. And we want to make sure that we can make that available to you. And this all helps us. So basically, the more information you give us through the activity app, the more we can help build out your own capacities. And then, of course, at Google, we, next slide, please, Justin. We believe very strongly, this is the way that we hire ourselves. We believe very strongly that great people know other great people. Case in point with the 3 amazing trainers that we have here. And so please, if you know someone, either that's in your school, in your district, or a friend, or in your personal learning network, please do nominate them. And if you go to in the private trainer site, if you go to nominate a trainer, you will be able to get them a free voucher. And then a few other things that you can do to get started. I'm realizing I kind of already covered this, but aside from all of that amazing content, there are many other great resources that you can find on the private certified trainer site. And we're going to keep trying to build this out. One of those is actually something called the Train the Trainer program. This is primarily to take on a leadership project across a number of schools or across a district if you're in the United States. So this will help you create a plan to create change by building an entire team of certified trainers across your school district. This will help teachers and staff become technology coaches by following kind of a step-by-step guide that you can get school leaders bought into as well. So for trainers who not only train, but also plan and implement professional development across the district, this is a super valuable resource that you can add to your arsenal. So it's not just you, like Sabrina said, sometimes it is just one person and you really want to build out your cohort of people that are there immediately with you. And then last but not least, if you can go to the next, thank you, recertification. It's still early, it's only April for those of you that started this year. In December, Justin and I will send out an email to make sure that you are up to date on all your recertification requirements. But really, by the time you get that email, if you've been logging your trainings regularly in the activity app, if you've shared a resource at one point throughout the year, then the 10 to 15 question product update exam should be a breeze for you. And it really shouldn't be that big of a deal. However, if you might have forgotten and it might have slipped a few times that you didn't update your training sessions or shared a resource, then this will be a good reminder. But this is, just to clarify, because we've had this question a few times in the last couple of months, the recertification requirements are by calendar year, so not by school year. So you'll need to complete these requirements within 2019 in order to remain in the program for 2020. And I think that's it. I don't see any questions in the Q&A, but hopefully if you have any, you can feel free to write them out now. We'll stay on for a couple of minutes. And if not, Justin, do you mind actually popping up the next slide, which is what qualifies as a training event? Sorry, you can go back to Q&A.
Okay.
Thank you, Joe Park. So a training event is, and I'm happy to email this to you if you want this like formally written out or if you happen to forget. And it's also in the activity app once you get a chance to go in there. But formally, a training event, a qualified training event is either one delivered on a new day or to a new audience. So training sessions can really take many forms, and the most common ones are either in-service, like professional development days or formal workshops and boot camps, or one-to-many department meetings. But I did want you to know that also any sort of one-to-one coaching or one-to-one mentoring, that 100% counts, as does any sort of like office hours for staff, any sort of online or virtual training sessions. Like if you were us leading this session on tools, that would count as well. And then the last one that I think is common is any sort of presentation at a large education technology summit. Now, just a quick follow-up on that. Some people often say that they don't have supporting documentation for some of those. And so some common examples that I'll give of supporting documentation, if you don't have, for example, if you're doing office hours as your training session that's logged, you can always include either photos or videos, maybe screencasts that you had in the middle of the session, or what's another one I'm trying to think? You can also always link to any responses from a follow-up form that you might send out to try and understand, as all you know in your application, you had to provide feedback from your trainings. Hopefully you've incorporated that into your regular trainings just to get feedback from people, even if it is a one-to-one coaching or office hours. And then last but not least, if you have none of that, you can always upload a document with any goals that you and the teacher that you trained have set together, any feedback that they gave you as a trainer, or a follow-up email that summarizes what you covered, or any links to supporting resources. Any other questions?
Cool. Yeah, so this event is recorded and will be available on YouTube for the people that couldn't join us. So I will also be sending out this link to everyone onboarded since the beginning of the year, and you could go back to this video and reference all the information that was given.
Great. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you, Justin, for putting this together. And to Miguel, Elena, and Davina, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye. Have a good day.